Good morning, students. Myself, K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of SNH, Chevrolet Engineering College. Title, Optical Fiber. Topic, Introduction and Construction of an Optical Fiber. So in the last session, we completed laser topic. So we discussed in applications of lasers. Lasers are used in fiber optic communications. So we have to know what is communications? Actually, transition of electromagnetic waves from one place to another place. In the previous years, actually we use copper wires, copper cables as for a transition purpose in communications. In place of copper wires, more efficiency with less cost. Here, this is the new concept, that is fiber optics. So in future, all the applications we have to replace in copper wires with fiber optics. So then we briefly discuss about what is the basic of fiber optics, what is the construction and types. So the first, John Tydal, British scientist, demonstrated in 1870 at Royal Society. So he explained that light could be guided along a curved stream of water. That means light can be transmitted as similar to water. That means we can transmit the water with the help of water pipes with a curved stream also. In the same way, with the help of fiber optics, light could be guided along curved stream. So basing on light having total internal reflection property. So finally, fiber optics, the light transmission through fiber optics is mainly depends on the total internal reflection. So here, light gets confined to the water stream and the stream appears luminous. That means how water can be transmitted through water pipes from one place to another place. In the same way, we can light also guided through along a long fiber optics, which having more applications in communications for due to very easy and rapid transmission of data for very long distance. That means high efficiency, low loss. So in place of copper wires or coaxial cables, nowadays we use optical fibers which carry the information with a high capacity, with a extended bandwidth also. So here, actually, signals are transmitted through these optical fibers in a light waves in place of actually all the information, that is whenever the information from satellite to channel or channel area to house, actually the information is transmitted in the form of radio waves and microwaves. So in place of radio waves and microwaves, light waves are used for transmission of signals. So apart from the communications, optical fibers are widely employed in other areas also, like sensors for detecting electrically, mechanically. Thermal energies are made using the optical fiber, and they are used in fibroscopes, even though in medical diagnostics also. So for keyhole surgery, for bloodless surgery, with the help of light, it is done by basing with the help of optical fiber. So due to more advantages of optical fiber as compared with the copper cable system, we have to briefly discuss about optical fiber. So optical fiber, what is optical fiber and what is the construction of optical fiber? So optical fiber is a long hair thin. So the thickness is very, very small. So it is compared with our human hair. So actually optical fibers are made with either glass or plastic, and mainly it works on the principle of total internal reflection. It works on the principle of total internal reflection. So simply, what is an optical fiber? As a definition, it is a transparent dielectric medium which act as a waveguide to carry information through light ray. So once again, I briefly explain this definition. Optical fiber is a transparent. So transparent means light, the passage of light we can easily observe through it. And it is a dielectric medium. Actually, dielectric medium is nothing but insulators. So, which is used for the waveguide. That means it gives the guidance for the light to carry the information. Actually, in the previous years, the information is carries out in the form of radio waves and microwaves. They cannot visible. Whereas in place of radio waves and microwaves, here we use light waves. But for the transmission of light waves, we have some guide. So that waveguide is nothing but optical fiber. So optical fiber is a transparent dielectric material which act as a waveguide to carry the information through light ray. So simply it guide the light rays. So the principle of optical fiber. So here the construction of an optical fiber, we have three parts, mainly core, cladding, and third one is buffer jacket. So core is the innermost region in the light guiding the region is called core. Actually, it has a diameter 50 micrometers. Now the cladding is the outer region of core, that is core surrounded by a coaxial medium. So this is the coaxial medium region. So core is surrounded by cladding. So cladding diameter is around 125 micrometers. So here the micrometer means 10 power minus 6 meters. That means very, very less thickness. So that's why the optical fiber is compared with the human hair thickness. And the last one is buffer jacket, that is the outermost region, which is also called a sheet or buffer jacket. And it having a diameter 150 micrometers. So these are the mainly three parts in optical fiber: core, cladding, and buffer jacket. Core with a thickness of 50 micrometers, cladding with it is a roughly figure. So cladding with having 125 micrometers and cladding with 150 micrometers. Here, the refractive index of the cladding is slightly lower than that of core, which is used to make the light to be confined to the core. That means light travel only in core region. So the refractive index of the cladding is slightly lower. That means cladding is act as a rarer medium and core it act as a denser medium. When light passes through this core, it does not deviate into the cladding because actually the percentage of light transmitted from or moving from denser to rarer is very, very less. So which is, this condition is useful, or this condition is satisfy the total internal reflection. Then only light must confine to the core region only. Otherwise, some light rays can be travel also in cladding medium also. So when the light rays travel in cladding medium also, that means the transmission percentage, that means the efficiency of the optical fiber is less, is decreases. So simply, so here the refractive index of the, that means so this is the core. Okay. When light enters into the core, it undergoes multiple reflections like that. If this is possible only when the refractive index of the core is more as the refractive index of the cladding. Otherwise, whatever the light enters into the optical fiber, some of the light rays can be transmitted through the cladding also. So due to this deviation, the output light, that means the efficiency may be decreases. And here total internal reflection condition is also not satisfied. Okay. So this total internal reflection case is only existed if refractive index of the core is more as compared with the refractive index of the cladding. And what is the use of a buffer jacket or sheath? Simply to protect the core and cladding from abrasions, contaminations, and harmful influence of the moisture. That means in atmosphere we have temperature variations, pressure variations, so moisture variations. So these effects may be harmful to core and cladding material. So automatically the transmission of light percentage will be, the efficiency of the optical fiber will be decreases. So due to this purpose, outer layer is protect the core and cladding material. That is the use of buffer jacket. The next one is, already we discussed that optical fiber works on the principle of total internal reflection. So then what is the total internal reflection? That will be discussed briefly here. So the light launched inside the core through its one end and propagated to other end due to total internal reflection at the core and cladding interface. This is the principle of optical fiber. Very important topic. So in exam point of view, they are asking what is the principle of optical fiber. So simply you have to write the this explanation and these pictures also. So simply in 2 lines, whatever the light launched inside the core, and that light is propagate through the core material, and finally it reaches to other end. So this is only, the process is going basing on total internal reflection at the core and cladding interface. So this is the principle of optical fiber. So let us consider here, this is the denser medium, for example, and it is a rarer medium. So in a optical fiber, refractive index in place of mu, here use N1. So don't worry, don't confusion it. So in throughout this optical fiber, refractive index is indicated by the letter N1. Okay, N1. So let us consider a light ray travel from core of refractive index N1. So here the denser is the medium of a core having refractive index N1, and cladding refractive index, which is rarer, its refractive index is N2. So here very important condition is N1 is greater than N2. So N1 is more refractive index. So simply it is called denser medium. N2 is less refractive index as compared with N1. So it is called rarer medium. So core is denser medium, cladding is rarer medium. So since the light travels from, this is the light. So light travels from denser to rarer medium. The angle of refraction is greater than the angle of incident. That means, so when a light ray is incident on the boundary between denser to rarer medium by a angle of incidence, that is theta I. So automatically there is some reflection and also there is some refraction here. So that refracted angle is nothing but theta R. So at this case, the theta R value is more as compared with the theta I. As we increase the angle of incidence, so here as we increase the angle of incidence, that is theta I is increases, then theta R also increases. Okay. A particular angle of incidence, the refracted ray having angle of refraction 90 degrees. That means as we increase the incident ray from this position to this position, so automatically the angle of refraction is changes from this rays to this one. So finally, at particular angle of incidence, the angle of refraction value is equal to 90 degrees. So this angle of incidence, this theta I is nothing but critical angle. Critical angle is indicated by the symbol theta C. Now the third diagram you observe here, if we increase the critical angle, that means the angle of incidence is increases more than critical angle, that is theta I greater than theta C. Now the ray is reflected back into the core. That means as we increases from, this is the first position. So this is the first position. This is the second position. And this is the third position. From first position, this is the theta R. And for the second position, this is the theta R. And for third position, this is the theta R. That means as we increase the theta I value, angle of incidence, theta C is also increases. And finally, beyond the critical angle, there is completely reflection into the core medium. There is no light enters into the cladding medium. So this case is nothing but total internal reflection. So this is called total internal reflection. Now, according to Snell's law of refraction, actually you call it as mu1, mu2 in place of mu1, mu2. In this entire optical fiber, we have to use N1 and N2. So N1 sin theta I is equal to N2 sin theta R. But here, at critical angle, theta I value is equal to theta C. Theta I is called theta C. And theta R becomes to 90 degrees. So theta I, in place of theta I, we have to use theta C. In place of theta R, we have to use 90 degrees. Then this Snell's law is changed as N1 sin theta C, N2 sin 90. So sin 90 value is 1. Therefore, N1 sin theta C is equal to N. So from that, sin theta C is equal to, just cross multiply N2 by N1. So from this, theta C is equal to sin inverse of N2 by N1. Actually, this is the expression for the critical angle, that is theta C. So theta C is equal to sin inverse of N2 by N1. The total internal reflection of the fiber following these two conditions. First one is the refractive index of the core material N1 must slightly higher than cladding material. And the angle of incidence theta is also very important. That means whenever the light launching at the boundary between core and cladding, the angle of incidence is must be greater than critical angle. So that is sin theta C is equal to N2 by N1. So here, principle of optical fiber, that is total internal reflection. Once again, I repeat it. So we have two mediums, core and cladding. Core is nothing but denser medium. Why? Because the refractive index of core is more as compared with cladding. So that is N1 greater than N2. When a light ray travel from core to cladding with some angle of incidence, that is theta I. So it refracted into the cladding medium with an angle theta R. As we increase the angle of incidence, the angle of refraction is also increases. At particular angle of incidence, this angle of refraction value becomes to 90 degrees. So this critical angle, this angle of incidence is called critical angle. So simply here the theta I is called critical angle, that is theta I is equal to theta C. Now this theta I value is increases more and more. More and more means beyond the critical angle. Then completely the light rays are reflected back into the core material only. That means they cannot transmit through the cladding material. This phenomena is nothing but total internal reflection. Now, acceptance cone and acceptance angle. What is acceptance angle? When launch the light beam into the fiber at one end. So this is the schematic picture of optical fiber. So this plane is called inner region, that is core, and this outer region is called cladding. Actually, the core refractive index is indicated by the symbol N1, and the cladding refractive index is indicated by the symbol N2. Here, this is the axis of the optical fiber. So axis of the optical fiber is nothing but it is an imaginary line which is passed through the center of the core throughout the entire fiber. So this is a line which is passed through the center of the core through entire fiber. Now, a light beam launched at the one end of the core and cladding boundary, which is used by using focusing some lens. So only some of the rays only at particular angle of incidence they launched into the core and cladding interface. That means which are having more than critical angle. So here, so this is the smallest angle of incidence, that is the dotted lines here. So actually dotted lines cannot pass through the core and they transmit through the cladding and just they move outside that. But beyond, by increasing the angle of incidence, that is more than critical angle. Here, this is the more than critical angle. So this continuous line is only enters into the perfectly into the core. And the remaining lines are not, remaining light rays are not enter into the core perfectly because their angle of incidence is very less, that is less than critical angle. So this is the only ray with more than critical angle and they only enters into the core medium also. And the other rays are refracted into the cladding material and they are also lost and they enter into the buffer joint also. So only the light rays with more than critical angle are only enters into the core material. So that particular angle, at what angle of incidence the light launch and enter into the core and propagate throughout the core is called acceptance angle. So when you observe here, so it has dotted lines, it is not an acceptance angle because it does not pass through the core, it just enters into the refracted cladding material. Even though this one, that is alpha m, is also not a suitable angle of incidence, it is also not clearly passed through the core material. But whereas clearly from alpha I, so here this is the alpha I, this is the only light ray which is more than critical angle and it is a suitable angle of incidence. This is only enters into the core material and propagate through the entire core, by total internal reflection like that. And finally, it launch at the other end of the fiber. This particular angle of incidence is called acceptance angle. Now, the light entered from a medium. Actually, the light is entered from air medium. That is, it having refractive index N0. Now the light entered from the medium refractive index N0 to core refractive index already it is named as N1. That means OA enters with an angle of incidence here. This is the OA. So OA enters with an angle of incidence alpha at one end of the fiber. Now the end at which light enters is called launching pad. So this is the launching pad. Therefore, the refractive index of the cladding is N2. Already in the construction we discussed that always N1 is greater than N2. Then only the refracted ray with an angle alpha r strikes the boundary of the, this is the alpha r, strikes the boundary of the core and cladding interface with an angle of theta. Okay. Here theta is also greater than critical angle. So now apply a Snell's law. So Snell's law actually apply between two mediums. So now apply Snell's law between this air medium to this core medium. So air medium refractive index is N0 and angle is alpha I. Core medium refractive index is N1 and angle is alpha R. Okay. So by applying Snell's law between air medium to core medium, air medium refractive index is N0 with the angle of incidence alpha I. Core refractive index is N1 with the angle alpha R. According to Snell's law, N0, actually N1 sin I is equal to N2 sin R. In place of N1, we have N0. N0 sin alpha I is equal to N1 sin alpha R. But from this figure, this is alpha R. From triangle A, B, and C, you observe here. From triangle A, B, C, this is alpha R value. Automatically, this is perpendicular 90 degrees. And this angle at B is theta. That means, according to right angle triangle, alpha R plus theta value is equal to 90 degrees. Alpha R plus theta is equal to 90 degrees. From this, alpha R value is from 90 minus 30. So now substitute here, alpha R value as a alpha R is equal to 90 degrees minus theta. Substitute here. So then equation 1 becomes to N0 sin alpha I and 1 sin, in place of alpha R, 90 minus 30. So 90 minus 30 value is equal to cos theta. Therefore, N0 sin alpha is equal to N1 cos theta. Now by cross multiplying N0 here, sin alpha I is equal to N1 by N0 into cos theta. N1 by N0 into cos theta. When alpha I is the angle of incidence here, if it is a maximum angle of incidence, then only the light ray launched into the core. So by placing alpha I is equal to alpha M here, so alpha I in place alpha I, we have substituted alpha M here. Then the angle is equal to critical angle, that is 90 degrees. So replace alpha I by alpha M and theta by theta C. We have sin alpha M, N1 by N2 cos theta C. But we have an expression theta C is equal to, in the last session, last slide, we have sin theta expression is equal to N2 by N1. Sin theta C is equal to N2 by N1. Now, sin theta C is equal to sin theta C is equal to N2 by N1. Okay. Now cross multiply this sin value here. Then theta C becomes to sin inverse of N2 by N. So here theta C is equal to sin inverse of N2 by N. But cos theta. So cos A we can written as 1 minus sine square A. So cos theta C formula we can written as square root of 1 minus sine square theta C. But we have sine square sine theta C is n2 by n1 from total internal reflection definition. So sine theta C is equal to n2 by n1, then sine square theta C becomes to n2 by n1 whole square. Then in place of cos theta C, we have square root of 1 minus n2 by n1 whole square. Or it can be also written as square root of, by cross multiply here, square root of n1 square minus n2 square by square root of n1 square. The square root cancelled. So finally we get cos theta C is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n. Now substitute this formula in sin alpha m, that is n1 by n2. What is cos theta C here? So substitute here square root of n1 by n2 square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n1. So n1 is cancelled. So finally sin alpha m is equal to, alpha m is maximum acceptance angle, maximum angle which is acceptance angle. So alpha m is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n0. Actually, n0 is the refractive index of the medium. If the light ray is launching from, air medium, then simply n0 value becomes to 1. Therefore, the same formula we can change it as sin alpha m is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square. Okay. So what is this acceptance angle? The maximum angle is called acceptance angle or acceptance cone or half angle of the fiber. This acceptance angle may be also defined as the maximum angle that the light ray can have passed through the axis of the fiber and propagate through entire optical fiber. So that is called acceptance angle. So once again, I repeated here. So N1 is the refractive index of the core and N2 is the refractive index of the cladding. When a light ray is launching from one medium to, that is medium having refractive index N0 to refractive index N1. Now it enters at the point A, that is the center of the core, making an angle alpha r. Now by applying Snell's law between refractive index of the medium N0 and the refractive index of the core N1, that is N0 sin alpha is equal to N1 sin alpha r. So here, this is the theta value. So alpha r plus theta value becomes to 90 degrees. So alpha r plus theta is equal to 90. Therefore, alpha r value is equal to 90 minus theta. Now substitute here, N0 sin alpha is equal to N1 sin 90 minus theta. Sin 90 minus theta means cos theta. So sin alpha is equal to N1 by N0 cos theta. When theta is equal to theta C, that is at critical angle, alpha I becomes to maximum angle, which is called maximum value of alpha, that is represented by alpha m. So by replace alpha I by alpha m and theta by theta C, then we get sin alpha m n1 by n2 is equal n1 by n2 cos theta C. So here Sin theta c is equal to n2 by n1. So here the end. So this is the end phase. This is also end phase. But which end phase the light enters is called launching pad. So optical fiber having two ends, but which end is used for the purpose of launching light? That end is called launching pad. And next, sin theta c, we have sin theta c from internal reflection formula, total internal reflection formula. Sin theta c is equal to n2 by n1. From that, theta c is equal to sin inverse of n2 by n1. So sin theta we can express in terms of cos theta as cos theta c is equal to square root of 1 minus sin square theta c. So by substituting sin theta c value is n2 by n1, then sin square theta c is the value is n2 by n1 whole square. So simply here by cross multiplying square root of n1 square minus n2 square by square root of n1 square. Here root and n1, root and 2 are cancelled. So simply we get cos theta c is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n1. Now substitute this cos theta c value here. That is equation number 4. Sin alpha m equal to n1 by n2. Cos theta c is square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n. Simply here n1 and n1 and n denominator and numerator are cancelled. Then we get sin alpha m is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square by n naught. If the medium is air medium, then the refractive index of air value is 1. So n naught value is equal to 1. Then we get sin alpha m is equal to square root of n1 square minus n2 square. This is the expression for the acceptance angle. In the next session, we discuss about the numerical aperture. Thank you to all.